I'm Jessica Ann Bogart for Audio Story Time. Today's story is an odd mix of fan fiction and faux fiction, which is the opposite of fan fiction. The subject of this tug-of-war is Star Wars.
May the Force be clobbered!
Welcome to
Audio
Story.
Hello, I'm Dave, your primary narrator for this story section. Part 3. Cruel emotional manipulation. Back on Tatooine, at the compound, concern mounted up breakfast when the elf did not show up for the meal. So it was Yoda who went and knocked on her room door.
Ocean elf! Elf!
Still no reply. Yoda carefully cracked the door open and peered in, only to find the room empty. He opened the door wider and walked in, noticing something lying on the bed, which had been straightened up. It was a piece of paper. Yoda picked it up and read,
Dear Ben and Yoda, when you read this, I will be gone. If it had been Yoda or Ben who contacted me at Mission HQ and asked for my help, letting me know Palpatine was back and up to his dirty tricks again, I might have had some time to consider helping you, perhaps referring your case to someone else. But I will not reward a kidnapping attempt with help of any kind, and do not care how desperate Anakin Vader is. My contact information is on the back of this note, so if Ben or Yoda would like my help, they may request it, and not on Anakin Vader's behalf. I am sorry it had to end like this. Were it not for Anakin and his crazy move snatching me right off my planet, things could have turned out so differently. Sincerely, Elf.
Yoda looked at the back of the note and found an email address and a number. He tried the number via audio-video communication, hoping it would work.
Mission HQ.
Yoda, this is, and regretful I am that consult you we did not get the chance to do beforehand. Starting over, would you consider? Another chance I am asking for. A threat Palpatine still poses, and much trouble he causes as Emperor.
For you, yes, but please keep Anakin Vader out of my way. I'll come as soon as I can throw a suitcase together and leave a note for everyone here. Don't try to get me to stay longer than I would like. I'll stay as long as I have to help you with whatever I can, if I can. That's it.
Thank you, Ocean Elf. May the Force be with you.
Rolling her eyes, the elf hung up abruptly without returning the mantra. When Yoda returned to breakfast, he and Ben talked about what had gone wrong to make her leave, and then how in the world they were going to keep things from being messed up again. It had been a conversation fleshed out by Ocean, and the Star Wars nut had loved it. It had been basically a big rah-rah Yoda pat on the back from Ben. But considering the way things eventually ended up, Ocean said any scenes she wrote among just the Star Wars characters were irrelevant when all was said and done, not to mention cringe-tastic. The elf returned and joined them when invited to sit down, but she politely declined breakfast since she just had hers at home. Unfortunately, Ben just had to go screwing things up again.
Anakin will be in no condition for anything today, and you can become more familiar with this place as you settle in. I will take you on a tour if you like.
Elf bristled. Anakin again. How sick she was of everybody making so much of him, and their assumptions that she should care too.
I told you I want nothing to do with Anakin. I told you that I would help you out with the Palpatine 2.0 problem or whatever version he is, without Anakin. Otherwise, yeah, the tour sounds okay.
Sometime after breakfast, Ben began taking Elf on a tour of the place. He showed her the training areas, the places where weaponry and armor were kept, droid manufacturing and repairs, and even arranged for her to get a little hands-on operating a basic droid. But the most important bit, according to the Star Wars nut, was this.
Coming back full circle, they passed the medical section, consisting of various rooms and chambers of differing sizes with different numbers on their doors. As he was explaining which area was used for each malady or condition, an agonized hoarse sort of scream was heard, and it died away into what couldn't be mistaken for anything but a sob.
The elf flinched in sympathy.
Ben stopped her, putting a hand on her shoulder to keep her from bolting.
Are you all right, my dear?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? You look distressed and you're flinching.
It's not me.
It's something over there. Somebody's screaming.
Jackpot. Ben and Anakin now had her right where they wanted her. Time for Ben's part in the gargantuan manipulation by way of emotional keel-hauling. But they hadn't planned on the elf running away. And that's what she tried to do. There was nothing she could do for whoever was screaming. And she couldn't stand hearing it. Ben held her back.
It is a most unfortunate state Anakin is in. He's had his suit removed and is getting scrubbed of dead flesh from his burns.
The elf stiffened, looking suspiciously back at Ben.
That doesn't make any sense. I thought that happened decades ago, like before he supposedly died the first time.
Ben looked sadly at the elf.
It is true you are thinking of burn patients who are helped by skin grafts, which eventually help new skin grow, and scrubbing is eventually not needed. But in his case he was burned so badly that there was no way to do any skin grafting. So he still has to have this done once a month.
Oh, that's right. Anakin Vader's #1 fan, the self-proclaimed Star Wars nut, fixates on everything Vader. The mask, the respirator, the needles in the face, the cybernetic limbs, the recyclers, the skin grafts that Vader wants and never got. And she completely ignores all the burning deaths and freezing, choking, burning torture he put countless others through.
Oh, bollocks. You get numbed up during procedures like that. At least you should, if your technology's supposed to be so much better than ours. And there are different types of grafts, so he should have at least had some.
Finally, the elf pulled free of Ben's grip and ran off. Ben stood looking after her for a while, then turned back toward the area where the screams came from. Then he headed toward the screaming. When Elf returned to the main entrance to the compound much later, Ben asked if she was up for any more looking around. Elf shrugged. Even this gave Ben and Anakin the opportunity to keep trying to manipulate things to go Anakin's way.
I'm about to go deliver a message. How about coming with me?
Elf only nodded slightly and followed Ben to wherever he was going. They walked on until coming to a specialized room. The respirator sound gave it away that Anakin Vader was there. It was his meditation chamber. Elf scowled. Ben knocked. Elf shot an acid look at Ben.
I just thought you should be the one to tell him you are staying after all.
Ben, you heard what I said at breakfast. One more trick like this and I'm gone.
I am sorry, Elf.
Oh, sure you are, Ben. You're just saying that in the hope she doesn't run out on you right then and there. Poor Ocean only stuck it out in the hope that things would get better. That you wouldn't be so stuck on Anakin as you've been so far. If I was right in Ocean's pot, I would have had her run away and ended the story right here. But carrying on, she only hissed back. Ben retreated as Anakin opened the door to let the visitor in, whoever it might be. And this is where I bow out. I'll point out one last thing about Vader. He really tries to sound absolutely pitiful in the rest of this section, which is read and commented on by various characters. He still just keeps trying to make Ocean feel sorry for him, even though that just hasn't worked. Ocean has said she never would have given this pathetic story, collaboration, a chance past that first part if she had known the Star Wars nut wanted, and would keep trying hard to make it all about Anakin and his stupid suit. All right, I'm done. Everyone else can take it from here, starting with Anakin Vader's annoying non-apology.
All right, I'm Sarah. I think Dave already got through that non-apology, which was Ben's. It was his way of acting submissive just to make Ocean Elf feel obliged to not be rude to him or something. I, along with various people, are going to help slog through this cringe fest and make some comments as we go. Let's get into it.
Here it says she tried to take the conversation in a slightly different but still related direction, one that would be done with quickly, so she could leave him as soon as possible.
I gave my word to Obi-Wan and Yoda this morning that I'll stay and help down Palpatine Sidious if I can.
Oh, Elf. I can't tell you how much that means to me.
For Tatooine, you understand.
She was about to leave.
Don't go. I wish I could get out of the suit.
Yes, you've told me again and again. Stop right there. Freeze.
The elf narrowed her eyes and put her hand up in a defensive position. This is because Vader had begun to remove his helmet. And Ocean knew what happened to people who saw him without it. It was the last thing they would ever see. But Anakin was confused by her reaction.
What is this?
As if you didn't know. Bad enough you just yanked me out of my home. But if you think I'm gonna let you kill me, you've got another thing coming.
I'm not going to kill you.
Oh, really? I'm aware you have killed many people who saw you without your helmet.
No, I would never kill you for seeing me without my helmet, but this is how I eat.
And here he produced his feeding tube.
Yeah, why are you showing me this? I told you all you needed to know, Ben's idea, so now it's time to go.
I do not like to eat this way, and you are not embarrassed to be seeing me without my helmet on.
Just what kind of shallow-minded drip do you take me for?
It hides the scars on my face. I'm embarrassed to be seen this way.
He's so into himself and his pity party that he is completely oblivious to the fact he just insulted Ocean, and he seems to think he can make her forget what she knows about him by making her sorry for him. It is definitely not working.
Why are you telling all this to me? I am neither embarrassed or interested, and if you suddenly decide to try mind-choking me later over this reveal, you will not survive the attempt.
No, Elf, please just calm down. I am not going to try to kill you.
She scoffed.
I only wish I could have skin grafts done.
You must have some at least. If you need other treatments, take it up with the doctors. I'm no medical professional.
If I could have skin grafts, I would be a completely different person. I would not be so angry.
Not again.
Oh, that's right. Ocean heard more than enough of Vader moaning on about himself the night before, when he used the Force to whisk her right out of this galaxy into Tatooine.
I do wish to seek revenge on those who murdered my mother. Curse them all!
You did! Not only that, but you snuffed out a heck of a lot of other lives in the process, women and children included. People who had nothing to do with what happened to her, so don't give me that.
Go for it, Ocean!
Thanks to the Emperor, I am stuck in this wretched thing. I want out.
Yes, 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 you've told me about your wretched suit over and over and over and over and over again and again. That was your fault for turning to the dark side in the first place, and I don't want to hear any more excuses. You didn't have to, and it's a good thing your mother can't know about all the horrible things you and your Emperor did. He will answer for his part in what happened to her, but you are not an innocent victim in the grand scheme of things.
I hate being scrubbed, but it has to be done. If not, the tissue that is left on my body could become very much infected. It hurts.
Oh, shut it. Surely your medical treatments aren't less advanced than where I come from. Bottom line is that so-called Emperor is going to be stopped one way or another. That's why I'm here. It's the only reason I am supposed to be here.
Yeah, Vader, take a hint.
If this doesn't work and he cheats death again, I will return to bring him down.
He needs to be annihilated.
Am I speaking too quickly? That is what I just said.
He may seem kind, but don't let that sway you.
Good grief, Anakin Vader. What do you think she is, stupid? If you were paying any attention to her at all instead of going on about yourself, you'd realize Ocean is far too smart and impassioned to be taken in by a show of fake kindness from Sidious.
Exactly, Mika. Vader always thought himself far smarter than everyone else. He always made them pay the price for that as well. But then he summoned Ocean, and he got himself in a load of trouble, which he deserves in spades.
Thank you for your unnecessary advice, but I am not some wide-eyed, naive little schoolgirl, and I will not be swayed by people I dislike. You should also know that just because whatever happened in the medical section horrifies me does not mean I will let you off for all the things you have done. You tortured and murdered so many people, and you crowed about it during commission of these acts. Time to go.
I just wanted you to know a little more about me. Is that so bad?
I didn't come here to learn about you.
I also have to eat this wretched stuff called Vita-based.
He spat in disgust.
In public, nutrients are fed directly to my body through my life support system. I hope this better helps you to understand me.
Now look, I am not here to be schooled. I am not your pupil. The feeding tube stuff is just something you have to accept, and anything inedible can go through an IV, so it's not like you have to taste the stuff anyway. And I'm pretty sure you can chew and swallow without your helmet on. I'm only here at all because Ben wanted me to give you a message. That's done!
But it still leaves my face. Even if you aren't unhappy with it, I am.
Yeah, your face is such a big problem to you that many people who looked at you without your helmet paid the ultimate price.
Must you throw that back in my face every chance you get?
Yes.
Well, even if I could have skin grafts.
Oh, brother.
Alas, that wicked old screw forbids it.
Wait, what? How many burn victims, including innocent children, died of infection because they weren't allowed treatment? Just wait till I get my freaking hands on that bloody sadistic coward. I'll make his head roll and spoon out his freaking brain.
Do neither the Star Wars nut nor Anakin Vader see that Ocean is really trying to get the focus off him by rightly pointing out that Palpatine's no-skin grafts rule would have made everyone else with burns suffer needlessly? And how many times has Anakin Vader called Sidious Palpatine a wicked old screw? He did it already in the first part of this wretched story, and here he just did it again. That makes 2, and there will be more. I checked. So Elf just expressed outrage at the no-skin grafts thing. Star Wars Nut and her evil crush still haven't caught on that Elf would like to annihilate Anakin's. Sorry, I mean Anakin Barth Invader Skywanker, right along with Hideous Sidious Palpatrash.
Wow.
Anakin replied, his voice which is a little more than a whisper now, at a resonating shout.
Well, Tiger, which is it, a whisper or a shout? Oh, that's right, it's both. Anakin's here, gets real excited because he actually thinks Elf is sorry for him at last. Here's what he says.
I have never heard you say so much!
Correction, he just wasn't listening. Ocean Elf said a heck of a lot more before this. The Star Wars nut and her goofy gaggle of Star Wars characters in this soppy story defiantly turned several deaf ears. Anakin Vader isn't so bad off if one little rant from Elf boosts his ego so much that it makes him go from a death-warmed-over whisper to a shout.
If you'd listen, instead of try making me feel sorry for you, you'd realize I've already said a good deal, more than I care to say to you.
Ouch! If that doesn't make him take a hint, nothing will.
Oh, you're not going to believe what he says next.
Even so, you are very kind.
Oh, save it.
I want nothing to do with you. I told you that!
Heh, Saeed.
Right. He sighs because we must feel so sorry for him because he is so sad. Oh, give me a break.
I am glad you decided to stay. I am glad both Obi-Wan and Yoda convinced you to do so.
Yes, I'm sure you are. But remember, this has nothing to do with you. Palpatine is not fit to rule.
Elf replied brusquely, suspicious about Ben's and Yoda's motives. Was Vader behind getting them to convince her to stay?
100% heck yes. And he just keeps going on and on.
There is an old sand woman who can tell you more about the shaman.
You babbled on about that last night. Remember? You all said they couldn't do anything until Sidious is gone.
The elf had been giving him the side-eye for most of this tiresome meeting, but now she turned her back on him and prepared to storm out. But Anakin Vader only continued as if he thought of her as one of his underlings who must stay and take orders.
First, I would like you to meet my son Luke and his twin sister.
Luke's twin sister has a name. It's Leia.
No kidding. Anakin Vader really did wrong by Leia. He tortured her. Now he can't bother to speak of her as anything other than Luke's twin sister, as if she's some sort of baggage that comes as a side dish to the all-important Luke.
That's not all. Anakin Vader and his #1 fan really trampled all over Leia during roleplay chat too, when they could take what few precious minutes out of their time coddling Anakin Vader something stupid to have anything to do with Leia at all. They used a voice changer to make a message that was supposed to be from Leia, and had it go on about forgiving Vader. Something Leia never actually did, and would not do. In any case, Anakin should not have mentioned Leia to Elf, because it set her off on a mini rant.
You are only her father in the biological sense. Bail Organa is her real father. He cared about her. He loved her. You tortured her. Love versus torture. I think I know which one merits the title father. You watched smugly, and you made her watch her own planet get blown up. And don't give me the excuse you didn't know she was your daughter. You shouldn't have done it, period. I should have met her instead of you.
Anakin had gotten in front of Elf and tried to stare down into her eyes with what the Star Wars nut called his blue soul-piercing stares.
My daughter and my son.
Cram it!
They, as well as I, want the Emperor annihilated as much as you do. That wicked old screw of a twerp has no idea what's coming.
Established over and over. But you know what? You're not going to be part of this. You're going to be staying out of my way. Otherwise, it is not getting done. Understand?
There it is again. Wicked old screw of a twerp. That makes it 3 and 1 for twerp. Perhaps we should start counting that as well.
He should be force choked.
You already said that last night, along with a bunch of other crap you keep repeating and I don't want to hear anymore. Now get out of my way, get some rest, give other people a rest as well.
I wish I could. That respirator is so loud that it keeps me awake.
Originally, Ocean finished this section off with a reluctant but cringy small kindness, just to please the Star Wars nut to some degree. The elf heaved a frustrated sigh.
Okay.
She turned to throw an annoyed glance of concentration at the respirator, then said,
There.
Then she left. Inexplicably, to his ears, the respirator sound grew less harsh and decreased in volume, mellowing into a more wave-like sound. An ocean wave sound that replaced the annoying snore of the respirator, although keeping the same rhythm.
Blech! Let's rewrite that.
I wish I could. That respirator is so loud that it keeps me awake.
Too bad, so sad. Live with it. It's not my problem and neither are you.
She shoved roughly past Anakin, who had tried everything short of forceful physical restraint to keep her there. Anakin Vader watched Ocean Elf hurry away without looking back at him. Then, having lost the battle of wills, he retreated back into his room. What kept him awake after that was that he couldn't mind trick her. He had been trying with all his might, and it just didn't work. Elf headed to her own room, feeling suddenly very tired and headachy. None of this made any sense to her. Graphs or no graphs, Vader had been strong and cocky enough to commit all kinds of horrific acts. If he had really been in so much pain, he would have given up the ghost long before, and been in no condition to be Palpatine's second in command. But she was terribly disappointed in Ben. He had become nothing but Vader's puppet. All personality he'd once shown in the very first movie, gone. Ocean Elf could not shake the feeling that Ben and Anakin Vader were in cahoots. That tour was not really meant to help her settle in and become familiar with the place. It was all a ruse, designed to turn her into another conquest for Anakin Vader. Elf wasn't sure what actually happened in the medical center that morning, or if that was really Anakin Vader she heard screaming. She had a strong suspicion it was staged. He had a flair for the over-dramatic, and he and his flunkies would do anything to get their way. A horrifying thought came to her. What if Vader had been torturing someone else to make them scream? She didn't put it past him, but if he did, he would have had to hide it from Ben and Yoda. Slimy as they had acted that day, surely they wouldn't approve of Vader going that far. Vader would have heard and enjoyed the cries of agony he caused masses of people, so Elf figured it was most likely him putting on a screaming act. How she resented Ben and Yoda for being in on this. One more screw-up by any of them, and she would be out of that galaxy like a bat out of hell. Too tired and irritated to think about it anymore, the elf sprawled on her bed and drifted off to sleep. The rest of that day was uneventful. At night, Elf couldn't sleep. She continued to ponder about how to annihilate the Emperor. She knew she could do it on her own if she had to, but this was really the Tatooine objective. She just didn't know what kind of help they would require from her. She also knew from researching since arriving on Tatooine that Palpatine Sidious had cheated death many times through cloning and dark Sith magic. So whether or not he could actually be annihilated in one go this time was something she wasn't so sure of, though she would give it her best try. She also looked up the suit and found that she was not told the truth about it. The scrubbing, properly known as debriding, was not the problem, and Vader did have some grafts done. The problem was the needles the suit contained for monitoring vitals and providing nutrients through the skin. This idea made her cringe, but since those needles were a permanent part of the suit, they couldn't have caused what happened that morning. It was also likely that at least some of the skin they were stuck into was synthetic. There were many options for burn and other treatments. Painkillers were also readily available. Eventually, Ocean Elf did manage to get a good night's sleep.
Here is an outtake.
Every once in a while, my clone voice doesn't know what accent I'm supposed to have. Listen to this.
Bad enough you just yanked me out of my home, but if you think I'm gonna let you kill me, you've got another thing coming. Bad enough you just yanked me out of my home. But if you think I'm gonna let you kill me, you've got another thing coming.